What is up, viewer out there watching this video? Lego Rocks back here, and yeah, I'm the guy that said that the Flyers would make the Stanley Cup Finals and beat the Penguins in 7 games. And I just finished watching the game today. It's showing the Winnipeg and Minnesota game. Morrow just scored, so it's now 3-2, but the Philadelphia Flyers just got absolutely destroyed, and a lot of people are gonna get pissed off of me even more. I took a lot of flack for saying that the Flyers were going to make the finals, yeah. But this first game will just cement that even further. So I wanted to take a little bit of a look as to why I truly believe that the Philadelphia Flyers still can make some sort of a significant impact in this series. Do I think they'll still win it? Yeah! Let's go with confidence, yes! I believe the Flyers still have what it takes to beat the Penguins. And here's why. So, when I was making that video earlier the other day, even at school, I was talking about this with a lot of people, talking about how the only team in the East that I can legitimately see beating the Penguins is the Flyers. If you put the Penguins up against any other team, I probably would have chosen the Penguins to be the victors. But the fact that it was Philly, it's always been my belief going into this specific postseason of this specific year that this Flyers team is the only Eastern team that could beat Pittsburgh. Boston, I don't think Boston could do it. Tampa, no. Washington, no. And I will still stick by that. I still believe that Philly is probably the only Eastern team that can, and I believe they will, beat Pittsburgh. And the reason for that is because of the energy. The energy that I didn't really get from this game. Because back when the Flyers and the Penguins met in 2012, when the Penguins were eliminated, by the way, off of an offside goal by Claude Giroux, that series at the time was one of the most entertaining series fans had seen in a while. And it was because of that energy. Philadelphia was able to beat Boston in 2011 against the Canucks. Philadelphia was rowdy. And because of that, they were able to play the game that they wanted. They didn't fall into what the Penguins wanted. The Penguins had to cater to the Flyers because the Flyers dictated the pace the whole way through, physically, mentally, throughout the entire series. And as a result, the Flyers were able to get past the Penguins. Now the Penguins, they haven't lost a series in 3 years. So, obviously, they're really good. But this is the first time in a long time that the Flyers have actually made the playoffs as well. So, in my mind, it was absolutely perfect to have the Flyers and the Penguins in the first round. And I truly believe that if we can see that energy from 2012 coming out of the Flyers system, because, let's face it, this Flyers team now is better, way better, than that Flyers team in 2012. If we can see that energy matched as it was 6 years ago, I believe that the Flyers will be able to dictate the pace once again. Because if you look at the Flyers' lines, the first line, Claude Giroux, obviously, A1 player, 100 points, fantastic career year. Couturier on that first line really stepped things up. He is an absolute beast. He's living up to his potential from when he was drafted. The second line, you got hot rookie Nolan Patrick coming in, who actually improved alongside of Jakub Voracek. On the third line, Konechny, who's been improving greatly as well, alongside of Filppula and Wayne Simmons. And the fourth line, Jori Lehtera has been a veteran in this league. I want to say a veteran, even though he's kind of young, for quite some time now with the Blues and the playoffs and everything. And one thing that I was really absolutely impressed with in this game was Provorov and Gostisbehere. These two, despite obviously not winning the game, and despite the fact that Gostisbehere was a -4 and Provorov was a -2, these are the two players that I think could really dictate the pace here. And sure, Sanheim, McDonald, Gudas, they're still there too, and they're still making an impact as well. But the Flyers' flaws really did get exposed in this one, didn't they? Because the Penguins just absolutely dominated the game the whole time, and it's not even for a lack of effort on the Flyers' part. For the most part, you know, they still got themselves quite a bit of shots, although they should have had more. 24 shots on goal, so many of their shot attempts missed the net. And at the same time, Elliott sucked, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Elliott absolutely not on his game right now. This isn't the same Elliott that we saw in the St. Louis Blues series a few years ago. Coming off of that surgery, coming back in, I think things just weren't going for him the way that everybody expected they would. I believe Mrazek should get the start next game. He's got nothing to hide, and obviously so much to prove. So, Peter Mrazek, we've seen him be fantastic before. Of course, you could say the same thing about Elliott, but at the same time, Elliott recency bias, what a horrible game that was for the Philadelphia Flyers and their defensive core. But at the same time, you could see a lot of that oomph in the Flyers game. A lot of that mojo. You could see that it was sort of there for the Flyers, and I mean, it's always been there this entire season, talking about their stacked forward core and how I believe their depth really is stronger than the Penguins. The Penguins, of course, you got yourself fantastic up-front scoring. Kessel, Malkin, Crosby, Gensel, Rust, in this game specifically. But I think everything trails off a little bit after that. And at the same time, though, the Flyers, they were 0 for 4 on the power play. The Penguins 1 for 4. And the Flyers, on their power plays, a lot of the times, it was just a pain to watch all these shots go wide and everything. Their last power play chance, they got no shots on net. So, overall, the Flyers really just didn't have the best game. I think that's kind of obvious, but I wanted to take a little bit of this time to say Pittsburgh, my goodness, what a fantastic game for them. Crosby, a hat-trick, fantastic performance by him. Brian Rust on the first goal, that got everybody going. Hagelin, of course, that one was really unfortunate, and, oh my goodness, Philly, right? And Evgeny Malkin, I believe that that was a fantastic goal, arguably the best goal that we've seen in the past few years in the playoffs. But of course, Brian Elliott, man, you gotta stop that one. Oh my goodness, I mean, at least he paid respect to the short side. But at the same time, man, that was a flick up. I don't think that should have gone in. Malkin, though, you're OP. That was beautiful. Later on, we got Gensel and then Crosby with... oh my goodness, the first of many, many playoff goals for Sidney Crosby this postseason. It's another one of these out of midair, he bats it in, over the goaltender's shoulder kind of shots. My goodness, it's too much, he gets himself 2 goals after, it's 7-0 Pittsburgh, and Matt Murray, I hate to say it, but Matt Murray... obviously, he got a shutout that was fantastic. I feel like the Flyers could have got one past Murray. I feel like this energy in the game that we experienced right here, the Flyers had what it took. I believe that's so. I believe that if a few more of their shots just went on net, they could have gotten at least 1 or 2 past Murray. Of course, we couldn't really tell because the game is over and that's how fate decided things. But at the same time, I believe, truly, that the Flyers are not out of this series. As the commentators said, as everybody in the media is saying, it's only 1 game. And you could really tell, coming towards the end of the third period, that Pittsburgh, yeah, they were kind of letting off the gas pedal a little bit. They didn't want to score as much, but they still did. And the Flyers, on the other hand, they were just trying to get through the game, just finish things up. And at the same time, I really just appreciate Provorov and Gostisbehere. Their play this game... I thought it was alright, especially towards the end of the game. I saw how they were keeping their cool with everything and how they were still moving along. I loved it. But going back over to the game result, of course, nobody's going to like that, and I can just imagine what coaching changes are going to be made going into Game 2. So, other than that, though, I think it was an entertaining game. Sort of. When they were getting all their goals and everything, it was a good stat booster of a game for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But other than that, I think that by the time it was 3-4-0, everyone already knew, yeah, no, there's no way Philly's going to win this one. And I'm the guy who's going to take all the flack for that because I said the Flyers were going to the finals. And you know what? I said it before, I'll say it again. I think that Philly is the only team that will be able to beat Pittsburgh. If they're able to match that energy from 2012, if they're able to be rowdy like they were in 2012, if they're able to dictate the pace like they did in 2012, I don't know how the Penguins would react to that, especially this Penguins team, this new Penguins team that we got here 6 years later after 2012, with new guys coming in like Murray, Kessel, Hornquist, all these guys coming in. Of course it's a new team, but I still believe that the embodiment and the spirit of Philadelphia hockey will still live on, and I still believe that it is capable of coming out and dominating the Penguins once again. So, yeah, that's my little talk here for today. Of course, I'm no expert, I'm no hockey analyst, I'm not any of that, I'm just a dude sharing his opinion. And of course, this is going to garner tons of negative attention in the comments and everything, but, yeah, I'm the guy who said that the Flyers are making the finals. And it's been 1 game. 7-0 loss. but still, it's been one game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. To Plus, gaming, and bye.